As I hope you can see, I've started to put some paint on the bed, some rust protection. Of course, those parts where I know I'll keep on welding, there's no point in putting any paint on yet, but some of the parts I know that there's not going to happen anything like that. I also wanted to show you that I've been adding some more pieces to the front, which pretty much now gives it the shape that I want to have. If I've been unclear on how I do this, I will try to explain once again, because these two are the ones that I put on just recently now, and three-dimensionally I didn't know what they were going to look like. So my method is creating new fixed points, and with those that I can measure, I can make the shapes that I want, that I like. They always have to match the fixed points that I have. So I had one in the middle, and then I had these two vertically across, and that gave me more points that I can use. I can measure how far in, how many millimeters in I'm going to be to know where these points are, and with that I can make more shapes on my templates here on the floor. So that's how I'm going to do with the whole rest of the birdcage. I know some shapes, and getting those shapes in, I always get more fixed points that I can use to create and match in the next piece that I'm going to make. So that's the whole method. I think I'll show you another thing as well. So I want to show you an example of the same method. Because until now I had no idea what this shape was going to be like, and exactly where I'm going to put my round bars. Of course I know that I need a shape going in the same circle, or part of the circle that the wheel arch is. I haven't really thought about it until now, but of course now I realize that I'm going to tilt this going outwards so I get the same angle as I have on these big hoops. Of course tilting it will give me a little more space inside the cabin as well, so that's good, but the main reason is of course to get the shape right. And once I have this, I can't really put the other hoop in until I have this point, because the other hoop is going to go some 450 millimeters, 45 centimeters further back, so it's going to sit somewhere around here. So that hoop won't go down to the bed, it will meet this point here. Now any of this I hadn't really thought about until I get to this point in the build, and then it's kind of gives itself, it's self-explanatory to me anyway. So another example of the same method. So I've added yet some more pieces to the birdcage, to the structure. Been quite fun actually. If you remember, I told you that this hoop over here, I realized I had to make this bend over the wheel arch, because without that I didn't really have anything to attach it to. Like I said, I've tilted them out a little bit, and the shape of the hoop I already had. I had my template on the floor. These two are the same height. This one is about a couple of inches, 5 centimeters lower. So this is where it starts to gently slope down. So apart from having this shape, I knew that it was going to come down 5 centimeters. So that's how I figured out where it should be. And I just had straight rods so that I could measure and get it 5 centimeters down. Once I'd done that, I knew where to cut it to get it to the right height. I also knew where I wanted that hoop to get the slope, the bend that I want, which is 45 centimeters. So I knew this distance. And with that, I could get the hoop in where I wanted it. And I got a door frame. This shape, I didn't know what it was going to be. Of course, I had a rough idea. Again, I know what I kind of want. This shape was kind of a given, and then just straight down like this. The width, I hadn't made up my mind. I'm a fairly small person. I wanted to be able to sit on the bed inside the door, and of course get in and out without too much trouble. So I ended up, just as a choice, with making it 56 centimeters wide. So I drew that out on my templates on the floor again, and I bent this to the shape using the same methods as I've done before. And this is what I ended up with, this frame. Now, of course, this shape is the same as all the hoops. And also, I don't know if you remember, from this point on down, they all have the same shape. These two are just alike. This one is slightly different now because it's slightly lower. But from here on down, they're the same shape. I have this shape, so I could bend that shape as well. I'm pretty pleased. I like the way it's looking. It also means that pretty much I've added one little rod down here, which is the kind of the end of the structure as it goes down, and I will keep on doing the same thing around the front. And when that's done, I'm for now pretty much finished with the front part of the caravan, of the trailer. So what I'm going to do, just for practical purposes, I have limited space, as you've noticed probably. So I'm going to wheel it out and turn it around, and then I'm going to start work on the rear side, which is going to be interesting because if you remember the teardrop concept, it has to have a kind of a boot lid, but a large one, which open up the back part. And I really don't know how I'm going to do that. As before, I have some shapes. By that I also have some fixed points. But I haven't decided the width of the boot lid. And that of course will decide what kind of structure bar I will need to make it work. But if you like to, you'll get to tag along. See you.